Thank you for joining me for this tutorial, Introduction to Methods in Servoy 4. Methods are used for scripting actions, and they can be attached to buttons, they can be attached to events, and they can be attached to almost anything in Servoy. They are either globally scoped or scoped via a form, but don't worry, you can call any method from any other method. Methods can also accept an unlimited number of parameters, and they can optionally return objects so that you can use methods and reuse them as subroutines. You can script in either JavaScript or Java. The default is JavaScript, but if you know Java, you can code in straight Java just like you can in any other environment. If you do script in JavaScript, it gets compiled into Java bytecode, and this ensures fast execution and a secure environment, especially if you're doing web client stuff. So let's pop over into Servoy Developer and see how it works. So I have my little solution intro to methods, and at the globals level, you can just create a method. So I'm going to just press this button to create a method, and I'm going to call mine global method 1. So the method is created, and now I can go ahead in here and start to add my code. So I just do a return, and I can make comments, I can do codes. So for a comment, for example, you can use / for a single line comment. All right, so that's one way to create a method. You can go ahead and press the button. Another way to create a method is to just start typing with the keyword function, my function. And then as soon as you do that, and you add your closing brackets, and you save it, so I'm going to come up here to the click button to save it. So Servoy goes ahead and creates the function and also puts this properties comment on there. The properties comment shouldn't be edited. It's really just a pointer to the physical file that it created for this method and also the unique ID for this particular object. So you just need to focus on what your function does and not mess with that properties comment. So that's a globally scoped method, and I can see that it's a globally scoped method because the name of the tab is globals.js. So if I go down here to my forms and I want to make a form scoped method, at the top level I can click on the form and either use the button, and I'll call this form method 1. And now you can see it says customers method JavaScript here. So now I can start coding my method right in here. As long as we're talking about coding methods, Servoy has a very easy way for you to start coding. So if you're into typing, you can just begin typing. For example, let's say that I want to make a beep. I know that it's over here in the application object. So as I scroll down and I click on the application object, here's the beep function. So I can either begin typing application dot, and then now I get a contextual menu that shows me all of the stuff that's in the application node. So I can either just simply choose this beep, and now it writes the code for me. So I can come over here to beep, and it shows me what it does, and when I click on it, I can either choose to move a sample or I can move code. So if I choose move code, it puts in the code for me automatically. Now, another interesting thing about Servoy is that we have code samples for almost everything in there. So if you want to say something like close form dialog, and let's move a sample over here, what you'll get is a fully commented sample of how that function works. So even if you don't know what something is, you can always move the sample over there and see how it works. There are other nodes down here. So like if you want to interact with the database manager, for example, here's a bunch of functions that allow you to do that. If you want string and text utilities, they're down here. The history object, so that you can programmatically control the forward and back buttons. All the stuff about security, internationalization, exception handling, and then as I expand the plugins node, each one of the plugins has their own set of functions and properties that you can use. And all of these have code samples, and all of them work exactly the same way. You can double-click them or just begin typing, and Servoy will kick in with the IntelliSense autocomplete for you. Well, that's about it. That's a really basic look at how methods work in Servoy. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial.